Hi everyone. And unfortunately, I see a red light, which means again it looks like we're going to have a few buffering problems. And yet when I was waiting to come on, it was absolutely perfect, which is kind of strange. But however, you will be able to hear me. You will be able to hear me. You just won't be able to kind of see me moving smoothly. Anyway, welcome to Elvis the Ultimate Fan channel. Today we'll have the live phone in on Facebook Messenger, which is free. This day in Elvis history. Elvis photo of the week. So here we are for another Sunday. Thank you very much for everybody that's joining me live, and for anybody watching on replay as well, because you can watch these videos and live streams afterwards. If you can't make it at the time that I go live, you can always watch it again anytime at your leisure. So anyways, everybody, let's have a look. Marie's the name. Arkansas Dave. Shower pic is early. Yeah, I know. That's some picture, isn't it? Let's have a look who else is saying. Hi, Maxine. Maxine got a bunny, Elvis Fudge. I was reading on the on the chats before we came on, because he looks like chocolate. Anway, looking forward to the show tonight. So am I, Anway. I've got a lot of stuff actually lined up for you. Mark, hi Mark. My vacation was absolutely brilliant. I was in Cork. I was in County Kilkenny. We went to Blarney Castle, kissed the Blarney Stone. In fact, I swallowed the Blarney Stone. So as I said last week, these shows could actually go on for 12 hours. Now I've swallowed the Blarney Stone. Yes, Dave is reminding me that next Sunday it is the big show. It's the big winner of Elvis Fan of the Year. And everybody that answered one question correctly, in other words, if you were the first to answer a question and you've only done it once, then you are in the draw for the winner. And it's a double prize, and Dave will be coming on the phone to join me to tell you what the prizes are and to give us the winner and the runner-up. So there's two prizes. There's a runner-up prize and a winner's prize. Hi, Bossa Nova, Anula, Jeanette. The backdrop picture is fire hot. I know, yeah. I suppose I should really just say that that's the cold shower photograph and it's going to run for the whole show. But I have got a pick of the week for you as well. It's not, well, some people might call it a cold shower photograph because every photograph you could say is a cold shower photograph. But it ties in with this day in history as well, so we can kind of use that as well. Yeah, the ultimate fan of the year. Well, I don't know about the ultimate fan of the year, but it's the fan of the year, the Elvis fan of the year. Helen Murray, wow, fantastic picture of Elvis, Steve. Thanks very much. By the way, Helen does a great job of retweeting my tweets about the upcoming shows and sharing them and so forth. So I would also ask that if anybody sees my tweets or my Facebook posts or anything like that, please share them, because the more people we can get interested in this show and interested in Elvis, that's the most important thing. Is interested in Elvis. If we can turn new people onto Elvis, more's the better. Now, coming up, don't do it at the moment because I want to get the topic over first, but you can phone me free on Facebook Messenger. Use the Steve Francis profile, and as you can see, the actual profile picture is, if I can get my finger right, it is baby Elvis. Baby Elvis. Lee Ash. Who else have I seen? Oh, hi, Chris. Yeah, there's Chris. Who else? There's Lee Ash. Yeah, Lee's online as well. So let's dive into the topic, and then we can maybe have a few people ringing me about the topic. It is, what is the favorite album cover? Now, this is all subjective. I know most people and lots of people have a different opinion of what they feel is the most successful and the most, the nicest favorite album cover. I plucked out about 20, and the last one is going to be my favorite. It'll be interesting to see how many people agree with my favorite, or if you have your favorite. And that's what I want you to do, actually. I want you to call in afterwards and tell me if you agree with my selections, whether there's some that you didn't like, whether I missed one out, a big one out. And you can say, Steve, where is such and such? It's a great cover. So, Maxine, yes, the baby Elvis is cute, isn't it? The very, very first photograph of Elvis, and with the hat, and that's lifted from the one taken in Tupelo in 1937 with his mother and father as well. It's a great photograph. So here we go, and obviously I'm going to accompany a picture of each of the album covers. The very, very first one is Elvis Hits from the Movies, and it's this one. And I can tell you that one of the reasons why I like that is because I think he looks absolutely fantastic in that suit. Now, a lot of people know that as the Elvis Now suit. We know why. Because it's the one where he's pointing up at something while he's singing. And he has that suit on. It's from 1971. So that's number one. Okay. I know a lot of people are coming in also on the comments and saying they like Madison Square Garden and so forth. Dave says he likes the EP Boulevard. Keep watching because some of those might actually come out. All right, so I'm starting with that one. It was, as far as I know, it was a budget album, that one. Elvis sings hits from his movies. So that's that one. Then I have this one, which is the Elvis 40 Greatest Hits, and it's actually a re-release, isn't it, from the arcade one, the one that was like had a goldish sort of color. And this one I have, and it was a special pink pressing. The vinyl was shocking pink. So that was a nice one. And I just also like the background. There's obviously the main picture is him singing Hound Dog on the Steve Allen Show. And then there's the background pictures as well, which I think makes up a nice backdrop. So that's number 2. Then I've got, the next one is Elvis. That's the Way It Is. Now I've got a little note here about this one. It's a cool stance. The way he has the arm down and the hand up. I would imagine what he's doing there is he's either listening to the band playing a instrumental break in the song, or he could be waiting for the intro to finish and then start singing. But whatever way you look at it, that is just an absolutely fantastic, I think it's an absolutely fantastic cover. Black and white as well. Can't beat a good old black and white. So let's just feast our eyes on Elvis for a little bit longer there. Okay, the next one. This one, I've seen it actually mentioned in the comments already. I think Dave mentioned it. EP Boulevard from Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee. And a couple of... one thing I want to mention is there you can see it says recorded live. So that kind of threw a lot of people when they saw this in the stores. They thought it was actually a live show. And there are also copies of this album cover which doesn't say recorded live underneath it, and I'm almost certain that I've got both, but I can't seem to put my hands on the one that doesn't say recorded live on it at the moment. I'll have to have another look around, but I don't think I'm imagining these things. I'm almost certain there's 2 versions of this album cover, and again, it's another great suit as well, the Indian feather or chief suit. Bossa Nova says, that's the way it is, cover nice, and Elvis on stage. Keep watching because there are going to be other ones coming up. So that's the Elvis Presley Boulevard one. What's next? Oh, yeah. I actually incorporated this in the call to action screenshot for notifying everybody about this week's upcoming show, Potluck. And his hair is what I would term as follow that dream hair. That's what I know that as, follow that dream hair. It's very long, and it's also nearer to his natural color. Somewhere around about the follow that dream sort of time frame, I think he stopped putting as much color in his hair, and he might have even stopped putting all the color in his hair at the time, because it wasn't jet black. When we come up to another one in a minute, I'm going to show you the difference, and it's a lot longer as well. And I think he either changed the hairdressing he was using or didn't put any hairdress in his hair at all. But it's rather fluffy anyway, that's for sure. And that actually, the cover on Potluck is from publicity photographs taken in the studio for Follow That Dream. Maxine says, that one, his smile in his eyes. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. One of my favorites, Potluck with Elvis, right up the top there. Great album as well, actually. For sure, Follow That Dream. Looks so soft. Yeah, I agree, Michelle. Yeah. So let's have the next one coming up. This one I threw in because I thought it was just a lot of fun. It's a bootleg from Au du Fond, A Dog's Life, as you can see. But I just thought this shot from the 1950s of Elvis pretending to bite his ear, it just all falls together. And I have to say that I think that the Dog's Life album is better than the actual Paradise Hawaiian style album. The actual, official soundtrack album isn't as good as this one. This has a lot of fun records on it. It has obviously the laughing version, Take 8 of A Dog's Life. It has a laughing version of Hawaii USA Paradise Hawaiian style. It's just a lovely album. So that one there, A Dog's Life, great one. What have I got next? Yeah, this one, which is In Person. We know this one from the International Hotel. Strangely, on the front of it, it's actually got, it isn't from the International Hotel. It's, as we know, that is the 1968 NBC TV special. And then on the rear, it actually has got Elvis from the International Hotel. But it's strange that the front one, but still a great album. And I love the sort of the fake sort of billboard on the front showing you the rundown of the album. And then obviously the second album was lifted from the American Sound Studio sessions. What have we got next? We've got, this goes without saying, really, doesn't it? Now, I know this isn't strictly the album cover. It's actually a CD cover from Elvis in Memphis, and it says American Sound Sessions. But I still, you get my drift. It's probably one of the best covers ever, actually, lifted from the 1968 comeback special, NBC special. Odd that these are session recordings from 1969, but they use a 1968 picture. But they did that a lot with Elvis albums. They didn't use period photographs, the right period for the album. So let's move on a little bit. This one I always thought was a lot of fun. It kind of looks like a newspaper. This is the Memphis Record, Elvis Extra. And then there's all the things that were going on in 1969. First Man Walks on the Moon, 500,000 in attendance at Woodstock Festival. Elvis returns home for first Memphis sessions since mid-1950s. It was quite a quirky album, and I liked it. I must admit, I liked it. So that's my next one. Somebody mentioned this earlier on stage, February 1970. And the thing that really strikes me more than anything else about this one is that I've got a note here saying no name on cover. There was no need in 1970. There was no need to put Elvis on an album cover because everybody knew who he was just by looking at that fantastic face and that fantastic photograph. So there must be cases where it must be quite in 1970 anyway. It must have been quite rare to launch an album but not put the artist's name on the front of it. But there you are. And it sold well as well. February 1970, On Stage. Another bootleg, The Rockin' Rebel. And this one I particularly liked because when you folded it out, it made a full-length photograph of Elvis. That's the front, but then you could just fold it out and it made the full length. Yeah, Sarah N says, interesting, not many that didn't have the name on the front. I agree. Yeah, On Stage is my second favorite. Okay, John? So that's Rockin' Rebel, bootleg. A lot of people will be familiar with the next one, Elvis US Mail. And then, well, we know how fantastic he looked in Aloha. That I threw that one in because that's just the US Mail actually is a favorite one of mine. What's next? Oh yeah, this one, the Reader's Digest box set. Now the quirky thing about this was, I have this in my collection, is the back of each album, when you laid it out in order, made a bigger photograph of Elvis on stage. It was like a mini jigsaw puzzle. So yeah, that's the Reader's Digest one. The next one is Girls, Girls, Girls. And look at the difference in just a few months between that haircut there and then that one there, which is the potluck one. I'm going to get that one up now. And the one on the Girls, Girls, Girls is what I refer to as it happened at the World's Fair haircut, because that's basically what I seem to kind of, remember it from. There was a huge difference between potluck and Follow That Dream haircut, as I call it, to that one there, Girls, Girls, Girls. So which one does everybody prefer? Do people prefer the shorter Girls, Girls, Girls or the Follow That Dream? Okay, after Girls, 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 the only actual sacred or gospel album that made it into my choices were His Hand in Mine. And I have a big reason, a very emotional reason for including this one. And it is because I don't know whether I've ever mentioned this on the show before, but I actually had a dream once that I was walking through a forest down a little pathway, and I could hear Elvis and the Jordanaires singing, and they were singing Milky White Way. And as I turned the corner and I saw Elvis, and this is exactly how he looked. He was sat at the piano. He turned towards me as he's looking now, and he said, "Hi, how are you?" Something like that. Unfortunately, before I could say anything, I don't know whether I would have been able to say anything anyway, but before I could reply to him, or if the dream could go on any further, I woke up. So, and it's the one and only dream I've ever had about Elvis as well. I wish I could dream more about him, but I know people say when you try and particularly have a dream about something, it's very, very difficult to do. So that's the reason why. That is quite a personal and emotional reason why I've got His Hand in Mine. Another great one, another great album, I think, and I've termed this as his last real studio album, because I don't actually count the Graceland sessions, the 1976 Graceland sessions in February and October of 1976 as official studio albums. It's this one. It's the Today album. Maxine says, an amazing dream. It was, Maxine. Yes, I agree, it was. So, yeah, Today. And just a little bit of information about it, a little bit of trivia. The photograph we see on the front of Today was taken at the Omni Coliseum, Atlanta in Georgia on July 3rd, 1973. So that's 2 years prior to the album being released. And he's wearing a Faro suit, And he only wore it one more time after this in Las Vegas, I think, in August 1974. He didn't wear that suit more than about half a dozen times, 6 times, I think. So that's the Faro suit is quite a rare suit when you think about it. If he only wore it half a dozen times, when you think how often he wore some suits. There's lots and lots and lots of photographs of him in the other suits, but the Faro suit he only wore half a dozen times. And as I say, a great album. A great track on that is Bringing It Back. Love that track on Bringing It Back. Really, really love it. So feast your eyes there on Elvis in 1973. The next one, another big album, quite a popular album, to say the least, is the NBC TV special soundtrack. I think that photograph with him belting out If I Can Dream with his name behind him just epitomizes the whole thing that happened in June 1968 for Elvis. It just turned his whole life and career around. So no more really to be to be said about that, I suppose. NBC special. Going back a little bit, 8 years, in fact, to 1960, March 1960. Elvis is back. I'm pretty sure most people would have been surprised if I hadn't have included this one. If you just excuse me for a second, I'm going to have a drink. A little drink of water just to wet the whistle. And I've got a little bit of again more trivia about this. These shots, this shot here that you see and the following shots were taken a long time prior to Elvis's discharge. They were taken at a photo shoot that RCA requested, and they were held at the Telefunken studios in Frankfurt, Germany on July the 19th, 1959. So, nearly a year before he was due to be discharged. I could use some of these as the cold shower photos, couldn't I? So that's the Telefunken studios in Frankfurt. There's another one. That's some coat, isn't it? And then this one here. So, yeah. They obviously, they knew they would be pressed for time when he was discharged in March of 1960. So RCA requested the army to allow Elvis to go to the Telefunken studios in Frankfurt and sit for some publicity photographs. July 19th, 1959. Elvis was still in the service, obviously, but it was done to have some fresh photos for him to be used on record release that were released fairly fast after his discharge from the U.S. Army. And as we're aware, actually, the single sleeves didn't even have any titles. They just said Elvis's new single for his 50,000 or 50 million fans. Elvis's best hair in a cover. Elvis is back. Okay, well, let's have a look at that one again. Absolutely superb. There's a whole load more of pictures taken in the Telefunken studios. I might pull them out for you and show them to you on Wednesday, and we can all have a bit of a salivate and look with our mouths open at him. That's Elvis is back. Not just a great cover, but a great album as well. Reconsider Baby, and just, yeah, unbelievable. The next one is this one, The Sun Collection, released first in 1975. In the UK, it was actually a different cover in the US. And I seem to remember hearing a story about this. It was shown to Elvis in 1975 during a live performance. Now, whether it was an American that had holidayed in the UK and bought it back, or an English fan that had travelled to see Elvis, and they showed him this cover, and he was quite intrigued by this cover. And it's, yeah, It's quite a good one. It actually encapsulates the 50s quite well. The flashy dress, the red, the red jacket, the white tie, the fans reaching out to him pointing at the fans, the microphone, the way he tilts the microphone, the way his legs are spread. It's quite a good one. That's why I've kind of left it till near the end, because it's definitely up there as one of my all-time favorites. So this is now what I consider to be, at the moment, like Elvis songs as well. I think I've picked my favorite Elvis song and then I wake up the next day and it's changed. But at the moment, this is going to be probably my favorite Elvis cover this week anyway. Are you ready for it? I wonder if anybody has actually guessed this. Linda says she actually hasn't seen that one before, the Sun Collection. As I say, it's an English pressing, and I have it in my collection. Elvis in Demand, interesting cover. Yes, I agree, David. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah. So here we go. This is it. Drum roll. Has anybody guessed what my favorite cover is? It's this one. There you go. Taken at the Fort Homer Hestley Armory in Tampa, Florida on July 31st, 1955. The photographer was William V. Red Robinson for the Tampa Tribune. The cover is ranked at number 40 on Rolling Stone's list of the 100 greatest album covers of all time. And this is very, very interesting because as a homage, as a tribute to it, the band The Clash in 1979 used this as their cover. London Calling. Now look how close that is to Elvis's 1956 album. It's the same font. If you look at the L in London and you look at the L in Elvis, if you look at the I in Elvis and you look at the I in Calling, it's the same font. The pink is exactly the same color. The green is a little bit darker on the Clash album. But that is just a tribute to, they knew what they were doing. This isn't a mistake. This isn't a coincidence or a mistake or anything like that. They knew what they were doing, the Clash, when they did that. And that is almost like they're tipping their hat to Elvis Presley. So I thought that was very, very interesting. Now, I am actually going to say what I know I normally leave it till later to say my picture of the week is, but my picture of the week is actually the uncropped version of the album what they used for the album. And you can see that that's what they started with, and this is what they ended up with. So to me, it looks like they've upped the contrast, haven't they? Because look at the lighting on Elvis. They've actually upped the contrast. They've cropped out Scotty. They've cropped out a lot of it at the top. And, you can only just see a few of you can barely see the crowd behind him. You can see that checkered dress above Bill Black's head. But have they cropped out the microphone as well? Yeah, they've removed the microphone, I think, haven't they? Because that microphone is probably just cropped out because you can just see Bill Black's nose and it's just in front of Bill's nose. So that's what they started with. And that's what they ended up with. And I think that just the reason why, yes, Scott says, sorry, Scotty. Yeah, Scotty didn't make the cut, did he? And I would say that if something like that had been taken now, they could have even got rid of Bill and everything behind him. Because of Photoshop now, you can just about take anything out. But they did a good job, I think, of doing from that to that. And as I was just about to say, Lou Dane says, nice to see the original photograph. Yes, it is. It is, I agree. I think it just epitomizes everything that Elvis Presley was in 1956. I know that was taken in 1955, but the album was released in October, I believe, of 1956. And isn't that his mum next to the checkered dress? Ooh, I'm going to have a look at that. I don't think it is. I'm going to blow it up after this live show and zoom in, but I don't think it is. And I'll tell you the reason why is because I don't think that Gladys, there's no record of Gladys traveling with the boys in 1954 and 1955 and even maybe 1956. I know she went to Hollywood when he was doing Loving You and so forth. Her and Vernon are actually, as we know, in one of the scenes in the Got a Lot of Living to Do scenes. But I don't think there's any record of Gladys going on tour with the boys. It was just too hectic. I don't think Vernon did either. It was just Elvis, Scotty, Bill, and then later DJ Fontana. Helen says, brilliant picture of Elvis, such a great ball of energy. Yeah, it just sums up the whole explosion of Elvis in 1955, 1956. So, and as I say, this is just so interesting when you see that and you see the same font, the same coloring and everything. As you said, as somebody else said, and I've said it as well, it's a homage. They're tipping their hat at Elvis Presley. They're acknowledging that the influence that Elvis had. And somebody's saying it's not his mum. I don't think it is Gladys, to be honest. It just looks like her from a distance. It's Lee says, with image, art direction, and typography, I think GI Blues is a great piece of design. Yep. And Jacqueline says, no, it's not Gladys. Steve, the shoes from Elvis looked weird to me. It looks like sandals in the photo of his first album. I believe that he was wearing, let's have a look at the uncut version again. I believe he is wearing sandals. I've noticed that before. Of course, Florida in July, you would need some sort of cooling system for your feet. Unfortunately, poor Elvis there has heavy trousers on, a shirt and a jacket, but I suppose he had to do that on the stage. You had to dress for the stage. So if anybody would like to give me a call on Messenger and discuss these covers, I would love to hear from you. I would. What do you think of my choices? Is there anything that I've missed out, that you can't? Do you agree with my choice of the this one as the best and most favorite album cover? Should I Stay or Should I Go is about the only punk song I liked. Yeah, by The Clash. They are buck shoes, not sandals. Well, to me, they actually do look like sandals, actually. Hi, who's calling Elvis the Ultimate Fan channel?
Oh, it's Vincenzo.
Hi, Vincenzo. How are you?
Not bad.
So, do you agree with my choice of Elvis cover?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. And have you got one of your own as well that you'd like to suggest?
I like the cover of EP Boulevard.
Oh, yes. The one with the chief suit. And the one that I said, I think there's two versions of. There's one with recorded live and one that just doesn't say recorded live.
I got it on cassette and it says recorded live.
You've got the one that says recorded live, have you?
Yeah.
Okay. And I wonder if there's anybody on here that has got a cover that doesn't say recorded live. I don't think I've dreamt this. I think there is definitely two versions.
I like the cover of the album Separate Ways too.
And that's not one of my favorites, unfortunately. I think it looks too sort of copy and pasty. You've got Elvis sort of stood with his feet, sort of on the highway, and it just. And I also remember one where you can see between his legs, and they've actually missed out the to sort of paste in the scenery behind him, and there's just like a blue color or a red color or something like that. It wasn't.
You know which one I like too?
Say that again.
Elvis Gold Record.
Oh, yes.
Gold Record.
Yeah, that's another good one. Yeah. Okay, that's great. Thanks, Vincenzo.
Yeah, it was nice talking to you.
Yeah, same to you. Bye. Bye. So we have Vincenzo there, just giving a few examples of what he liked. If there's anybody else would like to call in and tell me what their favorite one is. The shoes he always wore, I call them buck shoes, loafer type. Well, I must admit now they do look like sandals to me. Okay, let's have a look. We've got somebody else coming in here now. Hi, who's calling Elvis the Ultimate Fan channel?
Hi, Steve. It's Jeanette.
Hi, Jeanette. How are you today?
I'm just great. This is a good topic for a show.
Yeah? And what do you think of my choices?
Well, the first one I actually wrote down for mine was a choice of yours, which was His Hand in Mine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you heard my personal reasons for that, that was the dream that I had.
Oh, yeah. As you were explaining that dream, I was just envisioning it, picturing it with you. But to me, as a child, my aunts and uncles and grandparents would play that album, so it was always a favorite of mine. But just seeing him sitting there at the piano it's beautiful. So that was my first pick.
Okay. And you heard me talk about the dream and how frustrating that as soon as he turned to me, I've got it up on the screen now, and so people can see, him turning to me with his hands on his keys and looking over his shoulder and saying, "Hi, how are you?" And then the dream finishing. I mean, what sort of and of course I tried to get back to sleep to see if it would continue, and of course it wouldn't.
Don't you hate when that happens?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, look at that. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. And have you another choice?
Another one was the GI Blues one that was mentioned earlier.
Yes.
I love the way that he's looking up.
Yeah. And what do you think about the hair on Potluck? What I call the the follow that dream hair.
I loved it.
Yeah.
My first reaction was I would run my fingers through that bouffant. It's beautiful hair.
Yeah.
And he looks so cute. He looks so happy.
And did you also notice in a lot of the photographs taken around that time, his hair is nearly back to his normal sandy blonde color. I think he quit dyeing it, and he quit putting the really, really stiff sort of Vaseline or whatever he used to use in it at that time.
Around what time was that?
Well, that was round about the July-ish, August type, 1961, I believe. Because by the time he got to Girls, 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 he'd gone back to that sort of shortcut, and you can see the sort of the glistening on it. I'll get the Girls, Girls, Girls one up, and you'll see what I mean. I call that the It Happened at the World's Fair, because that's the first time I remember kind of seeing it, And also, it was kind of very black again. It wasn't the sandy blonde color.
Yeah, I do like it a little poofier, but I don't care if it's buzzed. I don't care if it's down to his shoulders. When you got a face like that, you can take away any hairstyle you want.
I agree 100% with you. I know exactly where you're coming from.
I don't want to keep it too much longer, but I also wrote down the one, I think it's a double album. It's From Memphis to Vegas.
Yeah.
The International Hotel one. But it's him in black and white, and he's holding that guitar.
Yeah, that's the one I mentioned, wasn't it? And it's strange. He's supposed to be on the International Hotel, but they're using the shot from the sit-down shows in the 1968 special.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. He just looks good there. And then I think one of the last ones I wrote down is it's called I Got Lucky.
Yes.
And it's that compilation of songs from his movies.
Yeah. And I think
it's from 71.
Yeah, I know the one you mean. He's kind of standing sideways on, and he's in profile, and he has the arm up. Yeah, that's another great album.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that because I love that song. I Need Somebody to Lean On from Viva Las Vegas. That's yes.
Yeah. I'd agree with everything you've said. I could have picked, I could have picked 50, but I kind of pared it down to 20.
They're all fantastic, but
yeah,
it's so hard to to dwindle it down, but they're all beautiful covers.
Yeah.
Most of them are just beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks very
Nice to have
much.
you back, Steve.
Oh, thank you very much. And thank you for calling in. And please do call again, won't you?
I will. Bye,
Okay.
everybody.
Bye. Bye, Jeanette. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So there you go. There's somebody else's opinion on the album covers. And yeah, I Got Lucky is another good one, I must admit. And I think it's funny what she said about how, you know, his hair, whether it's short or long or dyed or not dyed, when you have a face like Elvis's, it doesn't really matter. Okay, let's have a look, see who else we have here. Hi, who's calling Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel?
Hi, Steve. It's Deb Smith. How are
hi,
you?
Deb Smith. How are you?
I'm hanging in there.
Good.
I want to get the album over first, and I got a comment. I like the one. Somebody just commented on it. Let me hang on a second. Let me see the name of it again. Oh, come on.
Is it I Got Lucky?
Welcome to My World.
Oh, yes. That's the actual painting or a drawing of Elvis, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's really a good one.
Yes, I agree.
It's really a nice.
Yeah.
It's really a nice. I was gonna say it looks like a painting, but it's really a nice one. You don't see very many paintings of his.
Yeah,
even the one hanging in Graceland. I don't think it's that good.
Yeah, it's a painting from 1970, around about the time of That's the Way It Is, I think.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good one. I hadn't even thought of that one. That's a great one. I wonder what everybody else thinks about that one. Yeah, that's a good choice, Deb. Do you have another one, or is it just that one?
That one and EP Boulevard, which everybody is already saying. Those are my two that I really like.
Well, I've actually seen EP Boulevard mentioned quite a bit tonight, so that must be a really, really big contender. And what do you think of my choice, the Elvis 1956 with the pink and green lettering?
Well, I mean, I like it. I like the picture. I just don't like the Elvis in pink and green.
You don't like the lettering?
Right.
Is it a bit sort of candy sort of store, is it?
Hi, Elvis Lass. She just said hi to me, so I had to say hi back.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Hi, Elvis Lass. Okay, so is that your choices?
My comment is I don't believe that he's got sandals on that picture.
Oh, right.
Since you brought it up.
Yeah.
Because he made a comment that to him, sandals and blue jeans and stuff like that were all what he called poor clothes. And after he started making money, he vowed he was never going to wear poor clothes again. And there's even a comment when I think it was the Imperials. Got a new singer.
Yeah.
The guy came to rehearsal one day in a pair of blue jean bib overalls, and he didn't know Elvis's opinion. And Elvis walked up to the boss of, I think it's the Imperials, walked up to him and said to him, "Where'd you get this guy at?" And he happened to overhear him. And then the guy had to explain to him that Elvis doesn't like blue jeans. You very seldom see him in blue jeans.
Well,
and he didn't like sandals. He didn't like blue jeans. He thought that was all what he considered poor clothing.
Well, I'll tell you the story, actually. As far as I know, that was actually Larry Strickland, because he told me a very, very similar story when I interviewed Larry on this channel, if you want to look it up. And Larry was a member of J.D. Sumner and the Stamps Quartet. But I think that's the story I think that's...
I remember it was Stamps of the Imperials.
Yeah,
I knew it was one of the two of them.
Yeah, Larry Strickland. If you want to look up that interview I did with him, it's a great interview. Okay, so thanks very much, Deb. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, all the best. Speak to you again.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Well, do you know, as it goes on, and I look at that photograph, let me just check something here. I just want to check something because somebody says they're actually having difficulty getting through. I'll just send them a message back. And it could be that they're trying to get on when somebody else is getting on. So the more I look at that photograph now, I'm starting to change my mind. I know I think it was Don Dickerson said that he thought that they are bucks, not sandals. And I think actually that you could be right. They are. Somebody's trying to ring me here. Hello, who's calling Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel?
Hi, it's Maxine.
Hello, Maxine. You never, ever fail to disappoint.
I know, I was trying to get through, but my phone was being silly, so.
Yeah. Good to hear from you. I was just saying, actually, I think I've changed my mind on this photograph, that Elvis is actually wearing bucks and not sandals. I apologize to everybody if I said that I was convinced that he's wearing sandals, because the more I look at it now, I think you're right. He is just wearing his normal shoes.
It does look like he's wearing sandals, though.
It does look like it, yes. But as I say, the more I think about it, the more I think that people are probably right, and it is just his bucks.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the album covers?
I think they're all amazing.
Yeah.
Especially the last one.
Was there any album cover that you didn't like? Not just the ones that I mentioned this week, but is there any album cover which you can think of that you just don't like?
I wasn't really keen on. It's not that the way it is. It's the the second one, I think it was, that you showed.
All right. Let me see here now. Hang on a second. The very, very second one I showed. Oh, was that the 40 hits? The ones with it came with a shocking pink vinyl, and it's got a close up of Elvis singing on the Steve Allen show to the Hound Dog, and then it's got all different ones in as a backdrop. I actually like that one, but the thing I liked more than anything else was the actual pink, the shocking pink vinyl. Yeah. So, but you didn't
like his pink though.
No. So you didn't like that one.
No.
But you like the pot. What? Oh yeah. What about the hair? Do you like the Full of That Dream hair, or do you like the girls hair?
Oh, I love the Full of That Dream hair. I don't like the girls hair.
It's too tight, is it?
It is. He looks a bit plasticky.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. There's a heck of a shine off of that hair. The hair looked a lot softer in the Full of That Dream publicity photographs. And somebody earlier on, I think with Jeanette, said she'd just love to run her fingers through that hair.
I can't blame her for saying that, though. I'd do the exact same thing.
Do you know one I haven't covered, actually, is his hair during change of habit. That was something pretty special, wasn't it?
Oh, his hair and that, mate! I tell you what, I'd definitely run my hand through it.
It's a pity. It's a pity he didn't leave it like that a lot longer. He kind of left it the same for the cut. When he went back to live performances in 1969. But come 1970, he kind of changed it back again to the sort of up off the forehead.
Oh no, he suited that look. He should have kept it.
Yeah, I agree. Great to hear from you, Maxine.
You too.
Okay, and I'll talk to you next week.
I'll talk to you next week.
Don't disappoint me.
I won't.
Okay, bye.
All right,
bye.
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 That's Maxine. Lovely girl. Lovely, lovely girl. Lovely young fan. It's great to hear and see the young fans coming in. I actually have another call coming in here, but it won't answer. Hi, who's calling Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel? Okay. I think the person that was trying to call me, Earl, if you want to call back, that's no problem. I think actually what Earl is trying to do is he's actually trying to... Hi, Earl.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine, thanks.
I can see actually you're trying to do a video call, but the video calls don't really work when we're just doing a live stream. I don't know whether you can probably knock off your video camera and it won't use as much bandwidth. I think that's, yeah. How are you today,
Can
Earl?
you hear me now?
Yeah, perfect.
I like that the way it is.
That's the way it is. Yes, the black and white shot. And he's kind of, I think he's sort of waiting for either the band to finish playing an instrumental part in a track, you know, the middle part where he doesn't sing, or they're playing the introduction and he's getting ready to sing. The way he has his arm up and the arm out, you know, it's just a fantastic shot.
Yes, I know, but I love that the way it is, the album and the documentary.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have the original where they've taken all the original, and then I've got the special edition where they've taken out all the interviews and they've just had pure Elvis.
Yes. Yes.
That one I watch all the time.
There was a lot of unused material from all the film that MGM sort of filmed during July and August of 1970. And of course, they used a lot of that for the lost performances, but I'm sure there's still some in the can which we haven't seen, although a lot of it is actually now serviced on YouTube.
Yeah, I know. That's the way it is. It's one of my, is my favorite album. And DVD.
And have you got a second or third choice? Have you any of the ones that I mentioned?
I like all of them, Steve.
Yeah.
But that hot dog where he's biting the hound dog's ear, really?
Oh, yes,
They
yes.
could have done better.
Yeah, A Dog's Life. Yeah.
Yeah, they could have done better.
You know, you'll never know the heartache and the what I went through to try and narrow it down to 20. You know, I agree with what a lot of people are saying when they come on. They like them all. They like all their Elvis's albums. Yeah, and album covers. Okay, that's great. Thanks, Earl.
Thank you.
All the best.
For
Bye bye.
taking my call.
Oh, no problem. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. That was Earl. There was just a little bit of a technical glitch there before he came on, but everything seems to be okay again now. So if anybody else wants to ring in and give me an opinion on those album covers, we're going to do... you know, I've actually forgot to do something, and I'm going to just do a very, very quick look at something. Because I wanted to give you the result of the poll that I did for July Song of the Week. And I know it was close. And at one point, it was actually neck and neck. So I'm just jotting down now the actual percentages of the votes to let you know what it was, because I meant to do it before I came online. So just forgive me for that. July Song of the Week poll. They were Put the Blame on Me, takes 1 to 5, Sunday, July 4th. Something Blue, Sunday, July the 11th. Pocketful of Rainbows, Sunday, July 18th. Takes 3, and also I also included takes 21 to 28, and I'm Counting on You, take 1 and 13. And for the very first time, we have a tie. There's 2 songs that couldn't be separated. So in reverse order, fourth was I'm Counting on You with 11% of the votes. Second, or rather in third place, was Put the Blame on Me, 17%, which means that Pocketful of Rainbows and Something Blue both have 36%. So, couldn't be separated. I know it was neck and neck for a long time, and then Pocketful of Rainbows did actually go ahead for a while, and then Something Blue came up on the rails on the home stretch, and it's a tie. Something Blue. We should all pitch in and buy a racehorse and call it Something Blue. And Something Blue is the favourite, and Something Blue is first past the post. So, but Jeanette says all great songs. Yeah. So there you go. Something Blue and Pocketful of Rainbows couldn't be separated. I'm going to do the Elvis, This Day in Elvis History. And then I'm going to do my song of the week. Elvis Lass says she voted for Something Blue. Yeah. And do you remember what I said about Something Blue? The first take, they did a funeral march, dung, 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 which was promptly dropped. They didn't like it. So, right. On this day in Elvis history, August the 8th, 1955. I've got some photographs as well, I think, to accompany this. Elvis performed at the Mayfair Building, Tyler in Texas. And wait till you see this. Look how young he looks here. He just looks like a baby, doesn't he? He really does. Elvis is pictured backstage on Monday, August the 8th, 1955. This was the start of another week-long area tour booked by Tom Perryman that would also include shows in Henderson, Gladewater, Longview, and Kilgore. DJ Fontana joined Elvis, Scotty and Bill for the first time as a regular member of the band. Scotty and Bill actually convinced Elvis, who didn't want to spend the money, to add him with his salary coming out of their split. So there you go. And as I say, just look at that. Hi, Danny B-side. Just a mere babe there, isn't he? August the 8th, 1955. 1956, Elvis performed at the Municipal Auditorium, Orlando, Florida at 8 and 10:15 p.m. And I have... right. What do you think of that? Ladies, I'm not really going to say any more than just, ladies, just have a look at that. That's Elvis at the Municipal Auditorium, Orlando, Florida, at 8 o'clock and 10:15 p.m. I wonder, was that before the 8 p.m. show, after the 8 p.m. show, after the 10:15 p.m. show? It's definitely taken at night because there's a lot of darkness behind it, but there you go. If anybody would like to make a comment on that photograph. In fact, just as I say, that Scott did. Lucky girl. A Date with Elvis cover. Oh, yeah. Elvis Lass says, oh man, that melts me. Who wants to win one of our great prizes next week? Yeah, well, the names are going to be in the hat, and they will the runner-up and the winner will be pulled out of the hat during the week, and Dave is going to join me on the show next week to announce it. And I'm also, after This Day in Elvis History and Song of the Week, I'm going to tell you what is coming up next Sunday. And we all know what Monday the 16th is. So on Sunday the 15th, I'm going to be telling you what's coming up. It does look like a Cadillac, doesn't it? Okay, 1957, Elvis took Vinitia Stevenson, an actress, Lamar Fike, George Klein and some others to the Memphis Fairgrounds, and then to a private midnight showing of Loving You at the Strand. So that was on this day in 1957. 1958, although all through the summer, Gladys had been feeling ill, and Elvis finally insisted that she do something about it. He wanted her to do something about it, get herself well. He put his parents on a train to Memphis so that his mother could see her personal physician. Now, unfortunately, as we know, a few days later, we won't say really any more than that. 1960, Elvis recorded 4 songs at radio recorders for Flaming Star between 8 p.m. and 4 a.m. Now, this is very interesting because it was on this day that he recorded Black Star, Summer Kisses, Winter Tears, Britches, and a cane and a high starch collar. And as we know, later on, it was changed from Black Star to Flaming Star. And I think you've heard me say before that I would have preferred it to have stayed Black Star. I just think Black Star just sounded better than Flaming Star, but that's my own personal opinion. 1965, principal photography began on Paradise Hawaiian style in Hawaii. 1966, he was working on Double Trouble. 1968, he was in Apache Junction for Charo. 1969, he was in Las Vegas for his very first return to live performances. 1970, he was obviously in Vegas again for the summer season, summer festival, and he was recording and being filmed for That's the Way It Is. The rehearsals for the filming of That's the Way It Is started today at the International Hotel and went on the following 3 days, with the singer scheduled at 1 p.m. and the entire group at 7 p.m. So that's what he was doing. 1971, Elvis prepares for his summer festival at the International Hotel. A month-long engagement begins following on the 9th, so tomorrow. So he was firing up, getting ready for opening night. 1972, Elvis and his new girlfriend Linda Thompson, he met a few days earlier. Also, his lawyers are preparing papers for Elvis to file for divorce from Priscilla. So that was in 1972. He just met a few days before Linda, and they were also preparing the documents for him filing a divorce for Priscilla. 1973, he was in Vegas, and I have a photograph of that engagement. Is that the Spanish flower suit? I think it might be. And also, if you notice there, the actual staging behind him where the group is actually been increased in height. You can see the line, and it's normally about 6 inches high. But they've added almost another foot to that sort of platform behind Elvis. And it's good the way the front of it actually echoes the Spanish flower suit. I particularly like that photograph from 1973. We're going into 1977, 8th of August. Elvis rented Liberty Land till the early morning hours as a special treat for Lisa Marie and a host of friends. Okay. And that's 1977. Now, normally what I would do is I would say pick of the week, but we've already kind of covered that. This is my pick of the week, the uncropped version of the one taken in Tampa that ended up as his 1956 Elvis Presley album. So that is my picture of the week, and you can decide yourself whether that's a cold shower photograph or not. But I know what most of the ladies would say. Most of the ladies would say, every picture of Elvis is a cold shower photograph. Okay. Right. So we now move to Song of the Week. My Song of the Week again goes back to the beginning of Elvis's RCA recording career. My choice comes from what was only his second recording session for the record company. It took place at the RCA Studio 1 on Monday, January the 30th, 1956, between 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. The song was written by Arthur Crudup, the same writer as Elvis's first record, That's All Right. And basically what we see that on the 30th, he did Blue Suede Shoes, My Baby's Left Me, One-Sided Love Affair, and then he did, which is my Song of the Week, So Glad You're Mine. Okay, and then the following day, they went in again on January the 31st, and they recorded I'm Gonna Sit Right Down and Cry Over You and Tutti Frutti. But what they did was, as I say, Blue Suede Shoes, My Baby Left Me. They had lunch then between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m., One-Sided Love Affair, and So Glad You're Mine. Okay. And they did 10 takes, of which the 10th was used for release. The previous 9 takes are missing. And again, just like what happened on Elvis's very first recording session at the beginning of the month, when he recorded I'm Counting on You, which was my previous Song of the Week, the tapes are either lost, destroyed, or recorded over. Whatever happened to those early takes beggars belief. But I suppose, in January 1956, they probably just, with hindsight is a great thing, but they just probably didn't realize just how big Elvis Presley was going to become and what a treasure trove and what gold those alternate takes would be now to us now in 2021. The song made its debut on the LP Elvis, which was released in October 1956 and went to number 1 and was certified gold. And obviously, we're back to this again. This album is featured a lot tonight. I just love it. I love the piano on it. And actually, Shorty Long, who plays piano, didn't actually come in to the studio until they started on So Glad You're Mine. He wasn't on Blue Suede Shoes, My Baby Left Me, or One Sided Love Affair. He came in at 3 o'clock, and it's great piano on So Glad You're Mine. And also the subtle echo they put on it as well. Again, they were trying to repeat the echo that Elvis did with Sam. But we've got 9 takes which were either lost, destroyed, or recorded over. I'll leave a link in the description box below for So Glad You're Mine. Oh my goodness, Steve, it was 10:15 because I was at the show. I lived in Florida at the time. Angel Baby, that's very, very interesting. That isn't you that he's kissing, is it, Angel Baby? Just imagine if it was. Wouldn't that be something? That really would be something. Now, I want to go through, I want to tell you this day week, which is going to be the 15th of August, which, as we know, is the very, very day before Elvis's anniversary on August the 16th. And we're going to throw it open to everybody. We're going to do Dave. He's going to come on and he's going to tell us who won Elvis Fan of the Year and also the runner-up for those great prizes. And also, I'm going to throw it open and you can ring me on Facebook Messenger as long as you friend me first, Steve Francis profile picture. And if you want to come on and just tell me anything about Elvis, you can just discuss any topic at all about Elvis. But I specifically want people to come on and say what they would say to Elvis if they had the chance. If Elvis was still alive and they met him, what would they say to him? What would they ask him if he wanted to talk to them and say something? No sort of strings attached. What you would say to him, what you would ask him, what you would tell him if he was still alive. So, as I say, I'm hoping for plenty of callers next week on that subject and any other subject you want to. It's going to be a very emotional show because obviously it's his anniversary the following day. So that's what we're going to be doing next week. And as I say, I'm really looking forward to speaking to you and you giving me your opinion on Elvis and just any topic at all, really, any Elvis topic. But specifically, if you can, what you would say to Elvis, if you could just have 10, 15 minutes with him, maybe, Elvis Presley and American Trilogy. Hiya, Steve Francis. Hi, Carlo. I would say hi, cousin. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, save that for next week. And as I say, I do want plenty of callers. And I'm going to say that it is important that you use the Steve Francis profile with the baby Elvis. So if you look me up on Facebook and find that and send me a little thumbs up, I can then send you a thumbs back and then you can ring me. So you can do that during the week or you can do it tonight or you can do it on the night. So maybe Elvis played a note himself. I'm sure I'm kind of catching up here. My phone's about to die, so I'll bid everyone a goodbye and take care. Yes, I'll speak to you in the week, Chris. Hi, Jill. Thanks, Steve. Great show. I haven't quite finished yet, but it's getting near the end because we've been going for over an hour. 1973 Elvis Fool LP is another great album. So I'll be reiterating what I want everybody to do. on Wednesday. So thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I enjoyed doing it. I hope you can join me live again on Wednesday when there will be another Elvis topic. You can phone me free on Facebook Messenger, don't forget. And if you want to support this channel, you can do so by buying me a coffee with a link below. Until Wednesday, take care.